Jong Un next month.
Isaac Stonefish joins me now by phone. He's a senior fellow at the Asia Society and a CBSN contributor. Isaac, North Korea has been taking steps to ease tension with the U.S. and the South. What would you say? You know, they're trying to dismantle their nuclear sites by the end of the month. They freed 3 American prisoners. What's up with this decision now to potentially pull out of talks?
So, Rena, I think this is a great illustration that the North Koreans are masters at brinksmanship. I think what this signals is that they have decided that they have a little bit more leverage that they can push and that they have the possibility of getting more concessions from the U.S. side before they're willing to sit down.
And when you look at the situation right now, do you believe that the talks with President Trump could be threatened at this point?
I think they certainly could. I mean, I think it's a really good reminder that we have so little understanding of what the domestic political considerations actually are for the North Korean leader, Kim Jong Un, and that they might see this a lot differently than we expect. So I think it's not going to be a done deal, and it's not going to be a certain meeting until the two leaders actually sit down, if they ever end up doing that.
So if you are in the White House right now, or you're Secretary Pompeo, how do you walk them off the brink and get them back to the table if they feel like they're going to pull out?
You know, it's certainly possible that they're sending this message publicly, and privately they're saying, oh, yes, everything is fine, and they're just trying to do this to wheedle more concessions out of the United States. But I think if they're publicly saying the same message, the U.S. side has to sit and think long and hard about just what it's worth to them to have this meeting with North Korea and make sure that they're not giving up too much just so that Trump can have a foreign policy win.
So they were upset over these joint exercises between South Korea and the U.S. Was there a sense that the North Koreans knew that this exercise was coming? Were they caught off guard?
You know, that's a great question. I'm not sure what level of communication the U.S. side had with the North Korean side on this, but I think it underscores the still pervasive lack of trust between the two sides. I think the Americans certainly don't trust the North Koreans to keep their word, and it seems like the North Koreans are sending a message they don't trust the Americans still.
And this is coming from the news agency citing North Korea. The United States will have to undertake careful deliberations about the fate of the planned North Korea-U.S. summit in light of this provocation military ruckus jointly conducted with the South Korean authorities. So at this point, when you're looking at these military exercises, do you think that the Pentagon and the South might consider halting them? I believe they're supposed to take place for 2 weeks, and they kicked off on Friday.
I think they would certainly consider that. I think it also could point to differences of opinion on the U.S. side. I think we know that National Security Advisor Bolton is much less optimistic about these talks and has a much stronger view on the need to contain or even push for regime change in North Korea. So it could be that this is coming from Bolton. We don't actually know very much about the Defense Secretary Mattis's view on what the best strategy is for North Korea, but we could be seeing in some ways a bit of a battle between what Bolton wants and what Trump wants on this particular issue.
Isaac Stonefish. Isaac.